Good morning, students. So in last class we were discussing about the sample survey. Sample survey is nothing but a group or section of the population which information is to be obtained, right? So sample survey, it is helpful to the collect the information about population like through less cost and also shorter time. Okay, even less expensive and also shorter time or like short period. Okay, it is more helpful to the statistics method. So actually the sample survey is nothing but a group or a section of the population which information has to be obtained. So here we can calculate the population without using the method of census. It is also one of the important method. Sampling, like sample survey also, it is one of the important method to survey of the population. So in the census method we are using educated people. Okay, not possible to use uneducated people. So here sample survey is helpful to the same as, but it is not necessary to use that number of enumerators. Okay, we can use less number of enumerators, and we should take with the help of this sample survey we can calculate the population, we can count the population population in a less time only, shorter time period. Okay, so how we can do the sampling? Actually in the sampling, like in the sample survey, there are two important methods. One is random sampling, one is random sample. Here, second one is non-random sample. Non-random sample. What purpose? With the help of sample survey, we can count the population with less time, with less expenses in two models, in two samples. What are they? One is random sample, another one is non-random sample. Okay. First we have to understand what is the meaning of random sample. Okay. First one, what is the meaning of random sample? So random sample, it's nothing but one where the individual units random sample is one where the individual units from the individual units from the population, units from the population, units from the population are selected in random. So this is the meaning of random sample. We are discussing about two types of sample survey. Sample survey is nothing but it's a group or section of the population which information is to be obtained. Okay, survey means you know that very well, collecting the data in a different ways, different techniques, right? So under the sample survey, while counting the population, we can use two methods or two types of samples. One is random sample, another one is non-random sample. First we have to discuss about the random sample. So random sample means, random sample is one where the individual units from the population are selected. where the individual units from the population are selected in random. Selected in the random. Or selected at random. Selected at random. Random means we cannot say or we cannot take continuously. We cannot say or we cannot take perfectly. Okay, it is not possible to calculate in order way. Okay, so here random means unexpectedly. Like what we can say, it is not in a perfect way. ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಜೋಡಣೆ ಆಗಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಇರೋದು, ಲೈಕ್ 1 2 3 ಆ ಥರ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೇ ಬಿ 1 ಆದಮೇಲೆ 3 ಇರ್ಬೋದು, 3 ಆದಮೇಲೆ 8 ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಲೈಕ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್. ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ಡಿಫರ್. So that is not in continuous. That is not in continuous. So this is called as random sample. While calculating the population with the help of this method, sample survey method, we have to take two types of samples. One is we have to use two types of samples. One is random sample and one is non-random sample. First one is random sample. Meaning of random sample is, random sample is one where the individual units from the population, individual units from the population are selected at random. Selected at random. Random ಆಗಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. So that is called only sample survey. Actually under the sample survey, like under the random sample, we can see two ways. Again, one is lottery method. Okay, another one is random number table. Random number table. Random number table, lottery method. Very important. We are discussing about sample survey. Sample survey is nothing but a section or group of population which the information is to be obtained. Okay, so under this, when we are collecting the information, we can use two types of samples. One is random sample and one is non-random sample. Now we are discussing about the random sample. Random sample is one where the individual units from the population are selected at random. Selected at random. Random means it's not in a perfect way, order. It is not in order. Okay, like it will come like 1 3 7 like 8 9 12, okay, 15 like 25 30, like this only. That is not in order way. So that is in order. That is not in order. So random sample is one where the individual units from the population are selected at random. So under this we have to sampling the population, sampling the data in two ways. One is lottery method, another one is random number table. Random number table. Okay, to understand this, first one we have to understand the lottery method. So you know that very well, lottery system we have to select. Okay, I think you have little information about the lottery method, lottery system. So anyhow, once again I have to explain, that is what is the meaning of, like what is the explanation of random sample. So suppose, just imagination, the government wants to determine the impact of rise in petrol, rise in the price of petrol, rise in the price of petrol on the household budget of a particular locality. Just imagination, suppose ಏನಾದರೂ government wants to increase the price of the petrol ಅಥವಾ petrol price ಅನ್ನು increase ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ what will happen in the households budget. ಹೌಸ್ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬಜೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೌಸ್ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೌಸ್ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ದಟ್ ವೆಲ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್. ಆ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ದ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡಿಟರ್ಮೈನ್ ದ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್. ರೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್, ರೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್, ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಒಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, whether that is right, that is whether that is wrong. To understand, we have to check the sample. For that sake, we have to take a representative sample. A representative sample of 30 households. Representative sample. What is the meaning of representative sample? See, representative sample, for example, just imagination. Okay, you can observe here, like this is a plane, this is something, this is plane, this is something. Okay, right? Sorry, you have to write this only. Okay, here 1, 2, 3, 4, same. 1, 2, 3, 4, same. Here, this is called as representative sample. Representative sample. Okay. Suppose this is non-representative sample. Okay, are you understanding? This is representative sample. This is non-representative sample. How you can say that? Say here one is without, one is with. One is without, one is with. Here without, without. Right? But here you can see two without. Here one is with, again C2, here like this is, there is no in perfect. So this is non-representative, this is representative sample. This is representative sample. We can say like that, imagination. Suppose if you think this is like home, just imagination, if you understand, if it is home like this, houses. Okay, this is pakka, this is kacha. Pakka houses, kacha houses. Okay, like this, right? Kacha houses, pakka houses. Here we cannot say like that because to pakka, like one is kacha, then again one, again two. Again 1, again 2, again 1, like this only. There is no imperfect way. So this is representative sample. What purpose we have to discuss? To discuss about the random sampling. Random sample or random sampling. To understand that, we have to observe what is that. Suppose the government wants to increase the price of petrol. So what will happen? What is the impact on households? To check that, for this sake, a representative sample of 30 households, representative sample of 30 households has to be taken and we have to study. We have to take 30 houses or 30 households. We have to take 30 households. What purpose? To check what will happen. What is the impact when the price of the petrol increase. When the government wants to increase the price of petrol, that time what will happen in the households? What about the impact on households? So to understand that, we have to take 300 households. Out of 300 households, we have to select only 30. Out of 300, it is not possible to. So that is only under census method. We can check complete 300 families. But here, out of 300, we have to check only 30 families. On the basis of this information, we can say about this. So this is sample. This is sample. We have to take only sample. So what is that? 30 is a sample. Which sample? Random sample. So on this basis only we can identify, we can check, we can tell the complete 300 households information. What will happen? What is the impact? Okay. So here we have to select 300 families. That area, that is we have to mention. We have to select only 30. We have to select only 30 out of 300. What we should do now? That time we have to mention all the 300 families or households names. We have to write complete 300 families or households names like in that area, and written on pieces, compulsory written on pieces of paper. Which names? 300 names. We have to select 30 people, 30 households to check what will happen when the price of the petrol increases by like government. So in this time, what will impact? To check that we need 30 households. But out of 300, how we can select the 30 households? That's why first we have to write 300 names, 300 households names like in the paper. We have to make the pieces and mixed well. Okay, mixed well, and we have to select 30 names in that. You know that very well. We have to mix 300 pieces, paper, 300 pieces of paper. So in that we have to select 30. What purpose? To study about the impact of households when the price of the petrol increases by the government. What will happen? To check that we need 30 households. But out of 300, how we can check? That's why only we have to write names, complete 300 households, and that we have to write names in the paper, like piece of paper, and the piece of paper we should keep in the bowl, and that pieces we have to mix well. In that we have to select one by one. How many? 30, because we need only 30. Okay, this is called as lottery method. This is called as lottery. We are selecting. Okay, we are selecting only 30 out of 300. How? By using papers. When we are writing paper names in that paper pieces, and that paper pieces we have to mix well, and after that we have to choose one by one. Through this only we can select their names. How many names? 30 names out of 300. Here, so this is called as lottery method. You have to understand here. In the random sampling, every individual has an equal chance to the being selected. Of course, 300 compulsory 300 households are also having a same rights, equal chance to select. But here we select only 30, and the individuals who are selected and are not selected, both are same. Here out of 100, who are selected and not selected, both are same only. Where in a random sampling, every individual has an equal chance to being selected. Equal chance of being selected. Here there is no difference between selected and not selected. Right? So in this example, all the 300 sampling units called as sample frame. So 300 units called as sample frame or sampling frame of the population. So each and everyone got the equal chance to be included in this sample. Everyone having the same rights. Everyone has a equal chance to attend this sample or to be selected. So in this we have to select only 30 units with the help of which method? That is lottery method. So this is one of the important method under the random sample. You know that very well, lottery method. We have to write the names out of 300. We have to write names in the paper pieces. The paper pieces we should mix well, and we have to select one by one. How many? 30. So that is called as lottery method. Here in the sample, like random sample, there is no differences between selected and those who are not selected. Here the random sampling, every individual has an equal chance of being selected. selected. Okay, this is called as lottery method. Okay, next, that is number of random number table. Random number table we'll explain next class. Okay, don't forget, we are discussing about sample survey. Sample survey is nothing but it's a group or a section of the population which information has to be obtained. So to check the models, to check the sample, we have to understand the sample survey. With the help of sample survey, we can calculate the population with the help of two methods. One is random sampling and one is non-random sampling. First, we have to study the random sample. Random sample is nothing but random sample is one where the individual units from the population, where the individual units from the population are selected at random. So under this again we have to use two methods. One is lottery method, another one is random tables. Okay, just now we discussed about the lottery method. Okay, so up to this is enough. In next class I will explain second method. Thank you.